Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dreamleapers Inspiration. I'm your host, Harriet Cole. As always, absolutely honored to be with you here and now. It's the end of the year. Do you feel it? It's just so much that has happened over the course of this year. I've talked to many, many, many people from seemingly every walk of life, across demos, across ages, just checking in. How are you? How are you doing? Now, of course, the first answer usually is, oh, I'm fine, or okay. But then, scratch the surface, just go just a little bit deeper. And then, how are you doing? What's happening? What's happening in your world? How are you managing? Are you thriving? Are you surviving? What is going on? So I ask this question of all of you. How are you doing? If you answer honestly, what comes up for you? If you really sit with it for a moment, how are you doing? How is your life right now as this year comes to a close, as we look ahead to a new year? When you check in with you, what are the answers? I think it's important for us to take those moments to check in with self. What's going on for me? How am I managing? What are the great things that are happening? What are the challenging things that are happening? Everybody's life is different, but often as a year comes to an end, a lot of thoughts and feelings kind of stir up. And I've talked to people over the years around this time, and often it's emotional. What happened during the course of this entire year, all of the days leading up to this one, that brought you joy? What happened that caused sorrow? What happened that just created moments for you to step back and think, what does this mean? What does this mean for me? What does this mean for my loved ones? Take an assessment of your life and what do you come up with? And I have a friend who was out of work for 2 solid years and just got a job. And so I'm so happy for him that he did just get a job. But imagine, and in fact, I know a lot of people can't imagine because it has happened to so many, for that long a period of time to be without income, just about everybody would have completely diminished whatever resources they have. And as that occurs, what happens inside? What happens to spirit? What happens when you don't know what's next? When you're looking, when you're searching, when you're attempting to course correct, but it's not happening as quickly as you want. It's so easy to not have faith, you know? Someone just wrote, 2 years is not sustainable in New York City. You are right. And actually, the friend I'm talking about is in New York City. So imagine that. And actually what happened, which is something beautiful, is that community, family, loved ones pitched in and helped him to survive during this time. But even that, think about it. So if you have people helping you, there is a burden that can come with that too. How do I ever repay them? How do I ever climb out of the hole because the hole got so big? And that's one example. That's an actual example. A friend of mine who would say to me sometimes, I wake up in the middle of the night worried. I wake up with a tight knot in my stomach. I'm not sure what I am to do next, but this is a person of great faith. And so what I would hear on the times when I would speak to him would be anchoring himself in faith, remembering to believe and trust that great things are on the way, that there is enough for all of us, that somehow, some way, a great resolve is around the corner. And I thought about that story as I've also talked to many, many people, as I say, right through here who are expressing what their challenges are and contemplating the way forward. And that's how I came up with this week's topic, don't give up. So many things are happening. But if you keep pushing forward, no matter what, life is going to be okay. Life can be great. If you keep pushing forward with faith, there's sweetness that you can find even in the challenging experiences. And I think it's very important for us to look at, examine those challenging experiences that we have had. Don't shut them away. Don't hide them in the closet of your heart. But look at them. What have you learned from whatever has occurred in your life up until this moment? What are the lessons? What are the gifts? If if you are able to honestly and heartfully look at whatever has occurred in your life, to look for the lesson in it, it'll help you have strength. So one of mine, and I know you all have been on this journey with me. It is now December. My mother passed away in May. Just this year, just a few months ago. And I remember leading up to her leaving us. Well, I always talk about her, but I remember talking about just going to be with her in Baltimore with my sister and her family and being as present as I could be to her because she was present for us up until her last breath. She wanted to be with us. She wanted to, in a sense, she wanted to be here forever because we all wanted to be together. And in that sense of not giving up, she actually wasn't giving up her spirit. She was holding on to literally be here for as whatever forever could mean. And the reality is we have her in our hearts, so that forever feeling is there, even though physically she's not there. But I think about what this past year has been like for me as it relates to my mother. And the first half of the year was almost a blur. There were lots of things that I was supposed to do that I wasn't doing as focused of a manner as I probably should have because it was laser sharp focus on her. And so second half of the year has been speed them up, get things moving, do the work that has to be done because it has to be done. Like, don't give up, even if it feels like there's a lot happening, because there's always a lot happening. There's a lot on a spiritual plane, there's a lot on a physical plane, just what has to be done. Um, and but the part that's on the spiritual plane, if you don't tend to that, then it can hold you back from other things. I talked to a psychologist recently who was explaining the kinds of things that get in people's way when they aren't dealing with whatever is before them. A lot of addictive behavior happens, a lot of depression comes, a lot of uh, inability to cope well can happen when you don't deal with whatever is going on in your life. Resignation, like, how can I move on? And I had who, a dear friend whose partner of 27 years passed away. And when he died, a part of her died. And I remember it very well. She was not able to get past her grief. And she talked about it. She went to grief counseling. She made the effort to get past the grief, but it was interesting. Something never quite healed in her heart. And I've seen that before with people, and she ended up getting sick and passing on. I've seen that with a neighbor of mine in Baltimore when I was growing up. There was a woman whose husband left her, and she never was able to reconcile that, and she just withered away. She gave up. Why am I telling you these stories? Because I don't want this to be you or me. We don't have to give up. How can we walk with the light of whatever the experience is rather than crumbling, rather than giving in? We don't have to give in. What are the great things that we can learn from whatever the circumstances might be? What is the good that we can take with us forward, even from an impossible situation, whatever that might be? And I say that because, again, I've talked to people and heard folks are going through stuff. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their jobs. Hundreds of thousands more have less pay than they had a year ago. People have lost their homes, their loved ones, their sense of peace. But we have to get the sense of peace back. Yeah, someone just wrote, "You can die of a broken heart." Yes. My neighbor, that was the first time I'd ever had any awareness of that. I was young at the time, and someone said that out loud, like, "I think that she died of a broken heart." And, we're no doctors, but what we saw was someone wither away. And the rallying that came to from others, from loved ones, was not enough for her. And I'm not saying any of these things to make us feel bad or feel down. It's the opposite. I'm saying don't give up, no matter what's going on in your life. And by the way, it's even true if you're in a moment that's wonderful. Don't sit back and go, "Okay, I'm good," because we have to push forward every day. We have to push forward and be present and choose joy, choose positivity, particularly when it doesn't seem like it's standing right in front of us. So let's go to the quote. This was an interesting uh, experience looking for quotes, talking about perseverance, really. This one I like, it's from Winston Churchill. "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." Okay, close your eyes, listen to this. I want you to take it in. I chose this one because it has little nuances. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So let's look at that first piece for a second. Success is not final. So sometimes people like rest on their laurels. Like, "Okay, I got this. Look at what happened. I checked off that box. I did really well in this thing. I made it. I made it. I got to the mountaintop. I accomplished whatever that thing is that was so important to me to accomplish." And by the way, you know how important I think this is, that we have our goals, we meet our goals, we check them off, and allow ourselves to experience the goodness of that success. But we also have to recognize that's not it. Okay, you had a success. That doesn't mean you're successful always. That doesn't mean that that success is going to lead you through to forever. That's not how life goes. Winston Churchill says it's not final success. But also, he says failure is not fatal. And I'm going to put a little caveat on that, not usually. But it doesn't have to be. Just like my friend who was out of work for 2 years. That is so hard. But it wasn't fatal. He survived and got a job and is now climbing back out of that hole with faith. I have another friend who a few years ago, because of circumstances, lost his home. He was renting a space in someone's home and he had to move and he had nowhere to go and ended up going into a men's shelter. This did not kill him. This did not shame him. While he was living in that shelter, he completed his master's degree in college. You hear me? He completed his master's degree. He said, "I will not allow this setback, this failure, homelessness to stop my progress." I mean, that story will always warm my heart because it's proof that no matter what is happening, you can continue, you can persevere. You do not have to give up. And guess what? He's not in that shelter anymore. He has a wonderful home now. And that's so I have someone writing and said, "That would have been fatal for me. I'm not going to make it through another 2 months of unemployment." I want to say to you, because I hear you and thank you for sharing. This is tough times right now. Look for support. Now, because of the weird stuff that's going on with the government, I do not know how easy it is to access public funds. But what I can tell you is I have talked to people who you would never imagine, whatever it means, to go to the government and say, "I need help now." I know that that can be a humbling experience, but I know people today who absolutely never would have imagined that they would need to go to get an EBT card, to get public housing, to get whatever it is that's needed because of the dire circumstances they're in, and they have gotten support. I know people who had no health insurance, who got Medicaid. There's no shame in that. If you need it, get it. Go get it now. Get whatever you need to get in order to take care of yourself. And look to community. Now, like in my friend's case, I know that after a while, there's but so much that a person can do for you because we're all trying to take care of ourselves, right? But community can support each other. You do not have to feel alone if you are in dire circumstances. Open your mouth and say something, and perhaps there's somebody who's there who wants to help. I want to read you. Donna Burnett says, "Good morning, gorgeous. Thank you. Thanks always for helping me to be mindful not to give up. Uh, thanks for always keeping us mindful not to give up despite the circumstances. This is your anointed path from God." You know what? I do think that this coming together and offering is what I'm supposed to be doing. And connecting with all of you is just feels like this is what God wants me to do for sure. I want you to understand this notion that failure doesn't have to be fatal. Why I chose this quote is because I know there are people out here who think it is. Like, what is the point? Is it can I ever possibly get out of the situation that I'm in? My friend Sekou just wrote, "I definitely needed help." When you need help, ask for help. We live in a country that says that it offers help to people in need. Now, we just had that government shutdown, remember? And one of the things that was in question was the SNAP program, which offers food stamps and other things to people. But it's back, it's working again. If you need help, do not be too proud to ask for it. It doesn't mean you have to have it forever, but if you need it, ask for it. Turn to the people you love. Let them know what's going on with you. Even if they don't have the resources that you need, they may know somebody who does. They may be able to point you in a direction that can be helpful to you. Remember, there was a man, gosh, what is the TV show? It may have been Good Times, something like that. I'm not remembering exactly, but there was an actor, an out of work actor who was working at, well, he was out of work in terms of acting, but he was working at a fast food place. And people were chastising him for his life not being as fruitful as uh, he may have wanted it to be because he was famous on this show. Was it Good Times? I can't remember. Some of you might know what I'm talking about. But he was discovered again as a result of that, and I think it was Tyler Perry who gave him a job again. So somebody shamed him, but he did not act ashamed. He's like, "I'm living my life. I'm doing what I need to do." But because he awareness came, the light came on, "Oh, that's that guy." He was able to have a jump start of his career, of his chosen career. You never know what's gonna happen. Don't give up and say something. Say out loud what you need. I know that this is a lot easier said than done. It is hard to, oh, Sekou says The Cosby Show. Is that who it was? From The Cosby Show, yeah. If you need something, say something. If if there's something lacking in your life, do not let it kill you. Find a way through. Don't give up. Believe that there is abundance in the world, that there is enough for you and everybody else. You don't have to take from others. There's a psychologist that who I interviewed for my other Dreamleapers broadcast recently named Jonathan Lasseter. And he believes in Afrocentric healing. And one of the things that he talks about very, very strongly is making community. You know, that we don't have to follow the Eurocentric philosophy of kill or be killed. There's only room for one. Instead, we can believe that there's room for all of us. That the I can't remember the word Ubuntu. I think is the African principle of, you know, because we are one as a community. We are, as opposed to I think, therefore I am. Um, Danny, hi Danny. Yeah, Danny wrote, yeah, he was in Trader Joe's and it was Elvis on the Cosby Show. Robin, Jeffrey Owens from the Cosby Show. And as a result, he was outed in a negative way, but it turned into something positive. So yes, that's one person. A lot of times people say, "Oh, that's one person and that's a famous person, so he's different." Is he? He was living his life. He was taking care of himself. Someone tried to shame him, and it turned into something beautiful. He was not shamed. He's like, "This is my life." But he was rediscovered and given another opportunity to pursue the dreams that he had from such a young age. I look at that as proof, not as an anomaly, but as proof that it is possible for great things to happen, even when strife has happened, even when so called failure has happened. If you don't give up, you push forward, you make the effort. And the quote suggests that it's courage that keeps you moving, that keeps you motivated. I'm going to say courage and faith. Sometimes the courage and conviction to get out of the bed in the morning. Have you ever had that when stuff is tough? Tough. I have had it. I've had it multiple times this year, which is why I brought it up. Sometimes feeling like, uh, can I put that one foot in front of the other today? Can I get up out of the bed today and do what I need to do? Believe that today is going to be a great day and wonderful things can happen. We can manifest these things. Sometimes you don't feel like that. That's when you need the courage to and faith to believe it anyway. And that's when, this is one of the things that my mother used to always say, keep good company. Part of good company can be calling someone who you know is a bright light and just having a wonderful engagement conversation with someone who you know is just going to give you that hug, that virtual hug. Maybe it's seeing someone where you literally can experience that beautiful hug that says you're not alone, right? Okay, so here someone says, there right now, I've had 2 layoffs from jobs I loved in the past 15 months. Plus, this orange evil erasing our progress in history has become too much. I know. It's tough now for a lot of people. That's why I'm bringing this up, and I hope that you can tell my intention is not to be negative, but to be real. We are going through a lot. Individuals are going through a lot. Sometimes it feels overwhelming. You know, you think, I'm smart, I'm capable, I work hard, I'm kind, I'm nice to people, I have faith. Why is it so hard? Why is this happening? Why? The whys will paralyze you. So I don't recommend going down the path of asking why. I haven't found that to be successful. The courage to put one foot in front of the other, the the ability to try to see past the obstacle to something great. That is really hard to do. But sometimes we get stuck and we can't see anything. This is why meditation for me is very helpful. That by being still and inviting peace to fill me and expand around me and asking for the presence of calm, really that presence of peace to settle within me so that whatever else is going on is not bigger than the peace. Then I can see better. Sometimes you need to be quiet. We went a few weeks ago, we went back and forth about when do you say something, when do you not say something. Sometimes you need to be quiet and listen. What are you supposed to be doing right now? What can you do differently? Listen to that voice inside and see, what is it telling you? What can you do differently right now that might help to get you to a better outcome? I don't have the answers. I just know in my heart of hearts, we cannot give up. We cannot. We also cannot fill ourselves with all of the negativity. So, like, I don't watch the news the way that I used to because I can't. It's too negative, makes my head hurt. I tune in and tune out so I know what's going on in the world, but I can't. I cannot put myself in the space of the constant negative information because it's unsettling. What do you choose to see, hear, do? Who do you choose to spend your time with? Be conscious and intentional about everything. This is my dear friend Lejeune, and I've talked about this for years, to be conscious and intentional. Are you talking to people you wanna talk to? Or are there habits that, maybe that's not so good for me? Stop talking to those people. Are you eating things that are good for your body or not? What physical activity at all are you doing? I know for me, not enough. Get up and move. What can you do differently? What can you do differently that can possibly make it easier for you right now to survive? to thrive. And I say this to all of us. If you are having a fantastic day, I hope that this didn't make dampen that at all for you. Whatever is going on, hold up the great and know that you have to do it again and again. Success is not forever, so make a new success later today. Make another one tomorrow. Claim those little victories. Get the help you need. Ask for help if you need it. So serious about this one. Ask for help if you need it. Don't feel shy. If you need it, don't be embarrassed. Don't feel shamed. If you need it, ask for it. And do your spiritual practices. This is a time when connecting to the divine can save your life. Save your physical life, save your heart, point you in the right direction so that failure is just momentary. Success, you can reinvent, reignite again and again. Courage and faith are what help you to have the strength to soldier on, to move forward, even when times are tough. Don't give up, y'all. You are great. Even if it's tough right now, you're still great. Know that. Be in touch with the greatness within. Be anchored in that. Find freedom in that. Find that self-love in that. I hope that you feel all that I'm offering to you, to me, to all of us. And thank you to all of you who've been writing in. What does Sharon say? How do we change our minds? So I think so I will be, press on, dance in the storm. Yes, indeed. We can do it. We have to do it. We can do it individually and collectively. Please reach out if you need help. Thank you for spending this time with me. Happy holidays. Be blessed. Share those great blessings with everyone who comes in your path. Until next time, have a great day and make it count. Namaste.